All right. Minister Kajwan, your thoughts?
Well, first, let me start somewhere. Let me start with what I would have wished to see. This is a multi-party democracy. And we did so deliberately, and we fought for it to get to where we can say we are now a multi-party democracy. Reason is that we wanted parties to compete on different platforms. And if they so competed, and one of them got more seats than the other, then that is the party that would then be in power. And of course now pursue its own program. The other one would be the opposition, or several others would be the opposition. Now, if we are a multi-party democracy, the best system where multi-party democracy is practiced is a parliamentary system, because parties compete in parliament on a day-to-day basis. They compete on legislation, they compete on policy, they compete on programs, and they compete on mistakes of others. And that way, a party gains popularity, another loses. And also, at the same time, in a multi-party democracy, in a parliamentary system, you can easily check the executive because you can remove the executive. The only thing that a politician fears most is removal from office. And that fear alone makes him behave.
So in this instance, we are making a retrogressive step.
In fact, we are going backwards, because at least in this one, we could remove the president on a vote of no confidence. Of course, it was that bad that we would then remove the entire parliament if he didn't resign in 3 days. But at least it was better than the situation which we are now creating. Secondly, the party with the majority will be in power. They can lose that majority, even in the course of the 4 years.
Yeah.
And that makes it better. In fact, one party in power can even remove their leadership, but still continue in power. Just like
what the Labour
Blair
Party did
and what we saw with Margaret Thatcher some times back. And it can even make the party recreate itself, because it has acquired a new leadership, and new thinking. That is where I thought we were going. But now, with this so-called pure presidential system, we are going to go to a platform of an individual, of course being nominated by a party, but the spotlight will be more on the individual rather than on the party. And we are already talking of giving him executive authority, giving him a mandate as an individual.
Yeah.
And that is where the problem would arise.
Let me just cut to the chase on this one. The decision has been made.
Yes.
We cannot go back.
Yeah.
What would you do, to check the executive?
What we must now do, first and foremost, is to go what we would call the pure presidential system. Put in that constitution that the president shall never cause anything to happen without a resolution of parliament. That is what is in the American Constitution, that the president cannot cause anything to happen without a resolution of Congress. And that makes him responsive to Congress.
Yeah.
And maybe that checks him to some extent. Although you can't remove him, but that checks him, because he can't just wake up.
Run around.
And
let me jump in.
But another thing,
we're just about to end, because we've got a minute or so left. But I just want a very quick comment from you about the judiciary. We've talked about this for years now. We still haven't reformed it. What next?
But as you go to judiciary, remember, even in a prime ministerial system, the issues of checks and balances, situation in Canada right now, Parliament prorogued by the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister has the power to do so. People complaining that it should not have been prorogued. But these are their questions, and therefore it is not either or, it is what the Minister is saying, where is an effective check and balance in the way executive power is exercised.
Let's go to the judiciary.
Very quickly.
The judiciary's problem is the manner in which judges are appointed. The judges have been appointed by the president exclusively. If you look at the Judicial Service Commission, which ought to advise the president, is made of his own appointees. One is the Chief Justice, another is 2 judges of the Court of Appeal, or the High Court appointed by him again, and the head of Public Service Commission, which is also appointed by the President, and the Attorney General, who is also appointed by the President. So actually, you talk of the Judicial Service Commission, you are still talking of the President. So if he is the one who appoints, and yet the High Court and the Court of Appeal is supposed to adjudicate on matters in which the President has a direct interest,
then we have
what result do you expect?
All right. Key question we're going to be asking of Newsnight. Have we made a blunder? The examination of that particular system, the choices made in Naivasha will continue. Coming up, however, we've got the news coming up with Michael Ayer. Stay with us.